Probably weird. I'm probably one of the few guys that has a good day when a tow truck shows up in his house. She sure looks pretty on a tow truck. Alright, so here she is. This is a 1975 Plymouth Duster. A no frills, no special edition version. I'm pretty sure it's the standard run of the mill. But the main draw with this one is she's very clean. Little surface rust on the trunk. It's got one decent dent right there and that scrape down. But really, otherwise, this body is super clean. Hardly any rust on it. Nothing all the way through except for one tiny little spot back here in the back. Where did she blow? Right there. We got this. So that'll take a little bit of love. But otherwise, she's purty. So this one is a straight 6. It's the 225 cubic inch, 3-speed automatic. So nothing wild. It's like actually like 100 and might be 100 horsepower on the head. In 75 because of all the emission stuff. A couple of years prior, these were 140 horsepower, mostly because of a few less emissions devices, which we're going to delete a lot of that on this. So we're going to try and get it a little more potent. We're going to keep that straight 6 for now. It does run. I've heard it run. It doesn't run great, but it makes sounds. And we're going to get it even better. We're going to get this thing running, driving, and on the road. Plan's going to be kind of a cheap budget build, but we're still going to try and make this thing look nice. I'm not doing a rat rod on this thing. I want it to actually be a clean, presentable car. This is going to be kind of the weekend cruiser. So plan's going to be go through it mechanically, get some stuff fine-tuned, then go through, do a little bit of body work. I'm probably not even going to repaint it. I think I'm going to re-clear coat it. Lock that patina in. It worked really hard for 40-something years to get that look. I'm not going to take it away from it, but I don't want it to get any worse, so we're going to preserve it. But she's a pretty car. We're going to do away with the 70s fangs in the front. I like the look of the bumpers better without them, so I'm hoping those will unbolt easy enough. And we're going to get her cleaned up, get her looking right. I love the side profile on these. It's got that real muscle car look to it. I love this line that drops down, the line that kicks up there. It's that very, Mopar look to it. This is the budget Chevelle is kind of the way I look at it. It's got that hot rod look, but at a fraction of the cost of some of those big boys, especially with the straight 6. So still looks the look, and we're gonna try and make it walk the walk and talk the talk. So we'll see what we can do there. So I got a pretty good deal on the car, I think. The previous owners were really nice folks. I met the dad and his son that bought this thing from what might be the original owner. And they were planning on tinkering with it, fixing it up, and I think it just became a little too much project, and they just were running a little short on time. So they let it go, and I connected with them, picked up the car, checked all the boxes really for me. I'm not necessarily looking for performance. I was just looking for something really fun and entertaining to work on and something cool to look at. So we made a deal. I grabbed a tow truck and brought her home. Plan is try and get it as dressed up as we can on as tight a budget as we can. Take a little walk around. It does have, from the previous owner, he went ahead and put in a new gas tank, new filler neck, new lines supposedly, which I haven't confirmed that, but I don't doubt it. And it looks like a new fuel pump and carburetor. So the whole fuel system's been redone, which is nice. Exterior wise, doesn't look like they did really anything at all to it from what I can tell. I do see that someone, I don't think it was them, but at some point somebody put some different wheels on it. Not really in love, I don't think, with that look. Maybe they'll grow on me, but those may be coming off in favor of something a little more classic looking. I'd really love to, honestly, just get some Steelies with some cool smoothie hubcaps, or maybe some Kragers. I don't know. What do you guys think? What would look good on this thing? Plan is keep the paint, I think, the same. I want to do maybe the black, like the Duster Twister decal down the side. I'm not going to do the 340 logo or anything. I don't want to make it out to be something it's not. I actually may do the Duster Twister and then actually put the 225 on the back, just to let people know it's okay to be a straight 6. Really, it's overall, like I said, it's very clean. There's some surface rust here. It shows you that spot on the other side. There's a little bit of push through here, but stuff we can clean up and easily patch over. I'm not gonna go nuts on it. I want to keep the patina. I want to keep the paint. Honestly, other than the roof and the trunk lid, the shine on the paint's still pretty good. Looking at the plate, looks like the last time it was actually on the road was 2016. I'm thinking that's probably about right based on the work they had to do for the gas and everything. I'm sure it sat for a while. I got some rust in that tank. But really, I mean, I don't think it'll take much to get it to be a run-around little car. Let's take a look at the inside here. Bam! It's mint. So we got the cream, I guess we'll call it, interior. The door card's actually in pretty good shape. Little bit of tattering on the bottom there. Passengers in even better shape. All the side panels look good. Rear seat actually looks pretty good. It's got the antenna in here, and I think that's a bow maybe for the roof, which someone has yanked out the whatever you call that thing, the head fabric. We'll figure out that name later. But so someone's yanked all that, probably because it was sagging down. Headliner, there we go, that's the word. You can see the dome light just dangle hanging. That's actually back here, so I still have it, so we can refit that guy probably. Don't know that I'm even going to do another headliner, honestly. I might, but we'll see. I might even just paint what's up there. To be determined. Bench seat in the front actually lower's in pretty good shape. It's got the one tear here, but the sun, I think, is just eaten alive this driver's side. And it's all split and torn up. I mean, look how burnt, and these things are like hard to the touch. I mean, this stuff's still pretty supple, but this is rock solid from the sun eating it. So we'll at least, if nothing else, put a nice cover on the front seats and clean them up. I don't know that I'll reupholster them. Depends on how far into this thing we get. Dash actually in pretty good shape. I mean, it needs a little bit of cleaning up, of course, but really not that bad. Kind of a shame some of the brown on the wood grain has come off, but all the gauges are there. None of them work, but we can work on that. It's showing 94,918 on the odometer. And looking at that brake pedal and gas pedal, that might be accurate. I doubt it's 194. I don't think it's rough enough for that. So it could be a 100,000 mile car. It's got the AM only radio, which is nice. It was a factory AC car, which is cool. It's got the vents down here. Doesn't work, I'm sure, but maybe something we'll get into. That'll be like a, project, G or Q. We got to focus on our ABCs first. Need a crank for that window too. But really, overall, interior, not that bad. Like my fancy shoes. Got my work boots on. We're pretty solid on this side. We are pretty crunchy on this passenger side and up into the tunnel a little bit here. So we're going to peel this carpet back at some point and see what we got going on. There's a little bit of caulk on the windshield up there. So my guess is when it rains inside and works its way down, probably even from the dash up under this rubber, and just eats that floor. So got some license plates we can fill that in with. I'll show you something pretty cool. I did snoop around in here earlier, and when the last owner replaced the gas tank, they found the production card for the car, which is pretty cool. So I need to go through this and see what it all means, but it does give me all of the order numbers and everything for the trim, which is pretty cool. Be interesting to see what package selections this car had. Like I said, I don't think it's any special package. It's not a space duster from what I can tell, because the seat in the back doesn't fold down. Even though it's gold, I don't think it's a gold duster package, because it doesn't have the decals or the striping anywhere for that. So my guess is this was the plain Jane run-of-the-mill duster that had AC added to it, and maybe a couple other accoutrements, but definitely not the V8, and definitely nothing super collectible, but she sure is cool. So what do we got here? We got some old envelope, and I don't want to go showing stuff that we don't need to see, but this is just information on transfer of tag. So 2014, everything in here is from 2014 and 15. The tag, what did that say? 2016 expiration. So I'm thinking it left the road sometime in 2014 or 15. And it's been parked up really ever since. We got one Plymouth tag. Not sure where that went. We'll have to look around. The Duster logos would be on the side. Those are missing, which is kind of a bummer. What do we got here? This thing is stubborn old mule. Well, it explains the belt interlock and reminder system. Remember to fasten your seat belts. We're going to have to spray some WD-40 on that because it doesn't want to come down. I think the big thing, interesting, rear air. That's, I guess, for a fan switch. That's kind of cool. The electrical is going to be the big deal on this car. It, from what I gathered, is an electrical nightmare. I don't believe any of the lights work. I don't believe the dash works. Honestly, it starts, and I think that's about it right now. So we're gonna have to dig around a little bit on that. This is pretty cool. Check it. Bam! Wing window. That's neat. That'll help since the AC's not working. Yeah, up under here, it's even got the old school fuse panel with the tube fuses. We got some disconnected stuff here, so that's good. I honestly haven't even pressed the brake pedal yet. I'm assuming those function, but I don't know. I do know that some of the brake lines are new, but so we'll see. We gotta do some electrical digging. That's the big thing on this, and we're missing a fuse here, but all the other ones are still good. Nothing's blown. So we'll have to investigate that a little further. All right, well, let's get under the hood. All right, how does this work? Oh, that was easy. I can get used to this Mopar thing. All right, so here's our straight 6 in all its glory. Everything's dirty, but everything's here. AC system looks to be complete. We've got vacuum lines all over the GD place. We got vacuum lines plugged into the radiator for some reason. And then we got vacuum lines here coming off the thermostat housing for some reason. I don't know what this doodad does. We got, gosh, vacuum solenoid here, some kind of sensor. This must be like choke setup, I imagine. I don't really know. This is one of those heat risers, I guess, off the exhaust. It's got some stuff going on. A lot of which I think we can probably delete, is my thought. But we're gonna find out. Charcoal canister with new lines to that, which is interesting. So that was probably leaking at some point and they went ahead and changed it. Fuel filter on the original metal line there. Fuel's kind of orangey, but I don't see any chunks in it, so I guess I've seen worse. Belts are all there. They're all about 20, 30 years old, but they're all there. So we got another little modulator doohickey mabob with a vacuum line on it. We got a spring not connected to anything here. I don't know what that does. It must keep tension on this, which I assume is kickdown linkage, is what I imagine. So that's, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not used to these, Dodge flavors. We got double springage here, so that's cool. I don't know what's going on with all this stuff. We got things and things and things. So we're gonna have to dig through all that, do some research. Starter's easy to get to. That's nice. Exhaust looks pretty straightforward. Honestly, I'd love to get rid of all this crap that's in here. I mean, there's all kinds of junk on this. There's some kind of rolly gizmo here. All right, we got a lot to extract, I think, from this thing. Vehicle emission control information. 225 cubic inch. Here's a tag that also would list all the order specs and everything for the car. Idle settings, timing settings, timing, top dead center. So I guess it should be 0 at 750 RPMs. In front of catalytic converter. What? Use exhaust analyzer placed in probe in front of catalytic converter. Adjust idle speed screw and mixture screw to give 0.3% carbon monoxide. We're not going to be doing that. That's leaking, which means our ignition system is on its way out the door, I imagine, because I think that's the ignition control module, or the equivalent of it in Ford world. There's like a resistor, I guess, for the electrical system. Some of this I'm vaguely almost familiar with. Newer but very corroded master cylinder there. Huh, we got some figuring to do. Lots to explore. Cap and rotors over here. There's what looks to be a new fuel pump. There's what looks to be an ancient fuel filter, which is odd because the oil looks fairly new. So I'm guessing someone changed the... Why would you change the oil and not put a new filter in it? That's odd. Torque spark plugs to 10 foot-pounds. I like that. Warning. I do have a torque wrench. I guess I could use that when I do this one. So wires we need to go through probably and replace. Plugs we probably need to replace. That coil we can test and see if it's any good. That control module leaking like that makes me think that is going to be making its exit soon. So we'll check that out. We got the Statue of Liberty edition radiator, which is nice. That's an extra feature. It's an extra upgrade. Nice thing is everything in here is rusty and brown, which matches the brown on the outside of the car. So that's cool. It is power steering, actually, which I did not realize it was, but check it out. There's a power steering pump down there. So that's cool because I was dreading cranking on that wheel. So hopefully that works. It is manual brakes though, but straight six, so that's probably okay. Overall, really, it's pretty straightforward, pretty clean. We just got to really go through and fine-tooth comb it. But that's the fun of it, right? That's why we're here. So we can do that. Yeah, really not bad looking. Let's see if we can get the underneath her side. Not much to see. But there's a car under there. It's a little gunky, but frame solid. Just needs to be cleaned up. 4-pan is really the worst of the rust. I have no idea what that means, unless it means it was made on February 7th, 1975, maybe? The 8th one that day. I have no idea. But pretty cool. Let's crank on it. So I already checked. It does have oil. It's full. Like I said, it's clean, which is weird because the filter looks old. But that's all. All the levels were good when I checked them. We're gonna give it a pop. And let's see what it does. Nothing. Oh. Hey, right to life. Actually, it's running better than it was before. Maybe it liked its new home. But you can see it shaking a little bit. Definitely got a miss. Definitely got an exhaust leak too. I can feel the exhaust blowing right there. It seems to be the only spot. I might be able to even just tighten everything up. Maybe. Let's see. Let's check that power steering and see if it works. Oh yeah. Effortless. Well, that's cool. Well, there she is. Loving life, breathing, living. Running rough, but running. And there's nowhere to go but up.